Welcome to beautiful, amazing, incredible Hawaii. Getting to take this trip is an absolute dream. I honestly never thought in my life that I would be able to travel all the way to Hawaii. And it's just as beautiful and amazing, as I've already said, as you would imagine. We are so fortunate to get to go to 3 different islands, all of which are totally unique and totally incredible. Something that is extremely important and was very top of mind for us as we were traveling throughout Hawaii is to support local and native Hawaiians. You're going to see that we made some choices throughout this video to intentionally do that, such as booking accommodations with people that are native to Hawaii. We landed last night at about 10 p.m. local time, which was 12 a.m. for us. Coming from Alaska, we went 2 hours back in time. And of course, we headed straight to our Airbnb and went to 7-Eleven to get some Spam musubi so we could kind of, get our tummies full before we went to sleep. We are going to be visiting 3 islands while we're here in Hawaii. We landed in Honolulu on Oahu. We will also be going to Maui and the Big Island, but we'll be staying in at least 5 different places. This is an Airbnb slash hotel slash apartment, maybe like efficiency. There's not too much to the room, but we're up kind of high, so we have a really beautiful view. Other than that, we've got a bed, a chair, a little kind of kitchenette situation, and a private bathroom. It's about 7:30 in the morning and I am getting hungry, so I think we're gonna head downstairs we saw like a little coffee situation, sort of like donut thing, so I think we're gonna go check that out. Honolulu was by far the most populated area that we traveled to in Hawaii, and we took advantage of this by trying so much food. There is so much variety and the food is so good here in Honolulu. And we probably ate our way through, I don't even know how many restaurants. Basically, we set aside all of our food budget to be spent here in this city. And while we travel around to the rest of the islands, we do go out to eat on occasion, but for the most part, we were going grocery shopping to kind of keep those expenses a little bit lower. Good morning. Today we are going to be going to meet some Love and Stitches members. Nicole just happens to be visiting here, and then Sabra lives here. So we're going to be meeting for some coffee. So I'm packing away my knitting, but I think we're going to be out and about all day today. Like, we're probably not coming back here. So we are going to just bring some snacks, some water. I'm going to bring my hat, which I've been getting some knitting done on. I also learned some things yesterday, and I've put sunscreen on everywhere because, oh boy, I got a little sunburned yesterday, so we're gonna stay safe. You ready to go? Are you dancing? No, I just see you dancing. Show your... There was one thing we were told not to leave Honolulu without trying, and that is a malasada. They are donut-like, very much like donuts in taste. They are donut-like, but they are not donuts, and they are very delicious. You can get them with different fillings. I got one with Nutella. Kent got one with like the classic cream, and they're covered in sugar, and they're just delicious. After knitting, we decided to get some poke bowls and eat them outside. It was starting to get pretty warm out there, but they were still delicious nonetheless. If you weren't hungry before you started watching this video, you probably are now, because all we've been doing the last few days is eat. And I have been dying to try an acai bowl, so that's where we're off to next. And you're gonna get boba, right? Let's go. Kent changed his mind and ended up getting musubi instead of boba, but you're gonna see here in a couple of clips that we ended the night at a well-known noodle house where they are making noodles from scratch. It was kind of a wild atmosphere, kind of cafeteria line style, getting people through. I think we probably waited in line for 20 minutes at 9 o'clock at night. So it was extremely busy, extremely popular, and it was quite good. We are leaving Honolulu this morning and we are off to Maui. In order for us to get from island to island, we needed to take a flight. So this is the first of 2 short flights that we're going to be doing inter-island. Maui is where we're going to be making our yarn stop for this trip at an alpaca farm tomorrow. But first you need to see where we're staying because it is so adorable. So the house you saw when we were pulling up is not where we're staying. We're actually staying in an RV. And Kent and I are already really jealous of people that travel in RVs because this feels like a mansion compared to Lydia. So let's walk around. There's, I think, 2 doors to enter. Was there 2 doors? Well, anyway, you come in like this living room door. There's these 2 nice, big, comfy chairs. Oh my gosh, can you imagine if we had lounge space like this? That'd be crazy. There's also a couch. I mean, hello. You could just hang out. This is great. They have a huge table. This, I believe, is a slide out. So like when you're driving, it comes in. But this is going to be great because World of Warcraft just came out and Kent is going to be playing World of Warcraft. We can work here, which is wonderful. The kitchen is enormous. Like this is almost a regular size sink. It's probably not as deep as one, but I would say like an apartment size sink. There's a 3-burner stove, gas stove, a microwave, look how big the refrigerator is. Then there's a TV. Oh, come on back here. There is a bathroom that like we're going to be actually, we don't really use our bathroom in Lydia. We're actually going to use this bathroom. There's a whole shower. How do you open this? Kind of like a cruise ship sort of a shower situation in here, which we're going to be using. So that'll be fun. And then there's one more room in the back. I mean, there are doors. That's crazy. How do we turn the lights on in here? Maybe this. Aha. And then there's this bedroom with a bed that's always down. There's your other door and a nice TV. The shower was actually so nice, better than our last place, because in our last place, the coil for like the removable shower head was twisted in such a way that it would only spray directly at the curtain or directly at the wall. Anyway, so I would say like 10 out of 10 for a shower that size. It was great. Now, since we have our first kitchen here in Hawaii, we've decided to make a meal. And we really indulged a lot in Honolulu, so it's kind of nice to have something a little more basic. And Kent, what did you make for us tonight? You have to be near to me to my microphone.
We just have some sausage and rice and broccoli.
Yeah, so we just wanted it to be easy and fast, and we're gonna eat and go to bed because we have an early morning tomorrow. We're starting this day bright and early because we are off to see the sunrise at Haleakala National Park. When I think of Hawaii, and maybe when you think of Hawaii, I think warm, sunny weather and beaches, and there's so much more to it than that. We are headed up a mountain, we are driving above the clouds into this beautiful place. But the real change here is that the weather was so cold and it was so windy up at the peak of this mountain. I couldn't even face the sunrise because it was just blowing in my face so hard I couldn't keep my eyes open. All in all, it was still a good experience. If anything, it was an interesting story. We got to see a beautiful sight, get a small hike in, and have a really good start to our day. Later that day, we filmed a tour at Maui Alpaca. That will be coming out in a month or so, maybe a little bit longer than that. But we had such a great time. We got to meet Padma, who gave us a tour, and we also got to interview with Janet, who owns the farm. We are beginning our trip out to Hana, or the road to Hana. This was easily my favorite day in Maui. This is such an incredible, gorgeous drive, and because I didn't have to drive it, I just got to kind of enjoy it. I'm sure it was a different experience for me than it was for Kent. let me tell you a little bit about this road. So this is a 64-mile highway that is narrow and winding. There's hundreds of turns and there's over 50 bridges on it, most of which are one-lane bridges. So you have to pay very close attention the entire time you're driving it. But you are totally rewarded with incredible views, some of the most spectacular waterfalls that I have ever seen. I've seen some really tall waterfalls and some really big waterfalls, and honestly, nothing really compares to tropical waterfalls, or when there are like 5 or 6 waterfalls all interconnected in a row. It was absolutely stunning. We got super lucky that we started our day really early. So we drove out pretty early in the morning. There wasn't a ton of road traffic, but there was some rain expected. And later that day, a tree actually came down and closed off part of the road behind us. We were staying out in Hana with a local person. And so we were lucky that we, 1, got out there, and 2, that we weren't turning around and coming back. By the time we came back the next day, most of the road debris was clear and the tree, it was huge, was out of the way. At the end of the road here to Hana, you can get into the other side of Haleakala National Park. So we did a little bit of hiking, which is why you're going to see us switch over to photos in the national park area. We're just staying one night here in Hana, but Ken found us a really cool place. So we've got a full kitchen, a nice little dining table, and then step up into here. We have our bedroom with a really big bed, 2 little chairs, and then we have a big old bathroom in here. But I think the best part is that we have a picnic table that's just ours outside, so we can just see all the nature around us. It's nice and cool outside, so I think we're gonna work out there. And if you just step to the driveway, you can actually see the ocean. Yesterday, when we stopped at that amazing stand, we picked up some chocolate chip banana bread. So I decided to crack into it and have a little bit for breakfast, and it was delicious. We made it to our final spot in Maui. We kind of just needed to get back over near the airport, so we're staying here for just one night and flying in the morning or actually in the afternoon tomorrow, right? Returning our rental car in the morning, flying to the Big Island tomorrow afternoon, and that will be our last place that we're going in Hawaii. So this is kind of an interesting spot. This is our room. We've got two like twin or double beds or maybe queens, I don't know. So I get my own bed tonight, which I'm very excited about. Ken's probably sad. I like having my own bed. We've got a couch in here. It's actually a really big room. Just outside our room, there is a bathroom, which we're a little unclear if it's a shared bathroom or not. I think it's just ours because I think the other room has their own bathroom. But even if it is shared, it doesn't really matter to us because we're pretty used to, you know, all different styles of accommodations. There's also a kitchen, like a just kind of sink, fridge, microwave situation right outside the room too that is shared. So all in all, I think it's a great spot for us to be tonight. We're not really doing anything interesting. We're probably going to be doing a lot of work. And if we have good internet, maybe just hanging out and watching some YouTube. Now we're off to our final island of this trip, the Big Island, or the island of Hawaii. Here we're hoping to go to another national park and a couple more NPS sites. This whole part of the trip was mostly just about visiting those different areas, seeing a friend, and then just experiencing the different places in the Big Island. So this isn't where we were originally going to stay. 2 nights ago when we were driving ourselves from the airport to the Airbnb, we had several things go on. So first, we had a rental car that the alignment was off. And so about 10 minutes down the road, we turned around, went back, got a different rental car. Then we're driving 30 minutes down the road towards Hilo again, and I'm getting chilly. I reach in the back seat for my sweater, and sweater's not there. And I realize that I left it in the first rental car. So back we go, super nervous, hoping that they will have it, and they found it. Thank goodness, because I was gonna be really sad if I had lost that. I just finished it a couple weeks ago. So then we're headed out to Hilo for a third time, and we're about 20 minutes from our Airbnb. It's like 8 o'clock at night. And we realized we got a message earlier in the day that they have no power and no running water and they can't rent the room to us anymore. And we were supposed to stay there 2 nights. So we're like, okay, it's late. All the hotels in Hawaii are very expensive. What are we going to do? And it just turned out being really good because we found this awesome place, which is a bed and breakfast. And we really love staying here with Kelly. So we have a really great room, nice, comfortable. I think we've gotten like 2 of the best nights of sleep on our trip so far here. And then there's a shared living room. There's a kitchen. Kelly's made us breakfast every morning, makes muffins every day. We were taking some pineapple and dragon fruit muffins to go. So I think it worked out just to be the best. And we really love staying here. We are at our second national park in Hawaii, Volcanoes National Park. This place is spectacular and we had just stunning weather on this day, so it wasn't too hot. There was a beautiful breeze. This first hike that we did, we hiked around the rim of a crater and then directly through it. Honestly, it kind of blew my mind that we were walking on top of a volcano. It kind of doesn't compute for me that we would be on top of something that could be so volatile and dangerous, but this is a way of life here, and people have a really just a really great respect for nature, kind of that, you know, if we respect the nature and, you know, all the incredible things that it can do, then we can live in harmony with it. That was very present in both the culture of all the people that lived in Hawaii and also all of the information that the National Park Service is putting out to educate people. If you don't already know this, Kent is the biggest researcher and planner for our trips. I basically just go in with whatever happens kind of a vibe. And I can really do that because Kent has all of our basics covered with where we're gonna stay, how we're gonna get there, the rental cars, the flights. But he also takes the time to find special things for me, and he found this coffee shop called Koana. They do something really special where they're just serving black coffee for the most part. They do have a couple of other things, but they're not making lattes or anything like that. They have a fully immersive coffee experience where they kind of encourage you to get a coffee flight. So you can actually see me here using this cool thing they set up to smell all of the different coffees. I honestly don't think I am experienced enough with coffee to enjoy this as much as maybe another coffee connoisseur, but maybe I will get there one day. I only have just started drinking my coffee black after years and years of kind of making my way down from a flavored creamer to half and half to almond milk. So I'm getting there. Something that Hawaii is famous for is all of their different types of beaches. They have black sand beaches, which is what we got to see here and a couple other times, but they also have a pink sand beach and maybe a green sand beach. None of these we actually went to or got to see, but I just think it's spectacular what nature can do on its own and just how beautiful it is. The last spot we're staying in Hawaii is Kona, and we got to stay in this really amazing, it looked like newly renovated sort of, I don't know how to describe it. It was behind the main house, so we like walked up the driveway, up the stairs, and into this amazing space. It had the most spectacular view of the ocean from the kitchenette and from the bathroom. I've never had a better view from the bathroom, and honestly, it was one of my favorite places that we stayed. On one of our last days in Hawaii, we finally tried some shave ice. I ended up getting ice cream in the middle of mine. Oh my gosh, the ice cream was so good. I don't know if I'm super big on the shave ice part of it, or at least like the flavors, but the ice cream that I got was absolutely incredible. And then I got a little mini mochi on top. I could have eaten that all day long. We went to a handful of other NPS sites, so not national parks, but different sites run by the NPS system. They all had a really important historical value to Native Hawaiians and to the history of Hawaii. It was really interesting to learn, but we didn't really feel like all of them were appropriate to include in here or take photos in. Some of them were very much religious in nature or other sacred spaces, but they did offer some really important and interesting educational value for us, and also just some really stunning and beautiful views. After 10 amazing days in Hawaii, we also spent a week in Alaska, 5 days in Seattle. This was the longest trip I have ever taken in one single go. We were so grateful and so appreciative of all the time that we got to travel, but we were very, very grateful to be heading back home, back into our routine, back into the van, and of course, back to our little toaster, who was a little bit shocked to see us. I think we've never left him for quite this long before, but my parents took excellent care of him. Thank you so much for watching this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it and learned a little bit about Hawaii. We'll see you in the next one.